Hey folks, after post me speaking, here is the next icon giveaway. Okay, this is Saint Theodora of Vasta. Okay, very beautiful icon made by me personally with a lot of care. Here's how you participate. You are to comment, Mormonism sucks, Mormonism is a cult, something along the line of that in this comment section, only on this video. And if you are an ex-Mormon, okay, I would like you to share your story as you're commenting that. And also, if you are an ex-Mormon, and when you share your story, I will count your name twice. And make sure, folks, like always, I like your post. So that would mean that I acknowledge I have your name down. I know this is really for the Mormon folks and the defeat of Mormonism and the flood of converts from Mormonism to the true faith orthodoxy. I love you guys. God bless you guys. Also, this giveaway is going to end in 2 weeks from the day you see this video. Yeah, go ahead and comment in the comment section, and God bless you. Enjoy the video.
The King of heaven who is praised and is hymned by the host of the angels. Praise him and exalt him throughout the many ages. Hello, my friends. Now we got that out of the way, I guess we do have another Mormon video. The topic today is Horny Smith. We're going to talk about Horny Smith and his harem. Now, every time when I make a Mormon video, okay, people rage, mostly Mormons. Now, I do know for a fact now that I have Mormons following me. Now, a few of them are genuinely actually my friends who, are here for the political stuff. And they think this is funny. They're good sports. And then we have the haters who just wants to see what I'm up to. Okay. Obviously, we have what's his name? LJ Sour guy, you know, always following me, clicking on my videos. And the reason why they do this, by the way, is because they have an inferiority complex. They know that there's something wrong with their religion. Okay. So they desperately try to, you know, do a comeback. But, we know it's not going to happen. So they watch my video, they think that they can see and learn all the argument and somehow refute it. It's not going to happen. Okay. So I'm going to keep doing this. By the way, it's funny. A few weeks ago, I had a guy comment on my photo saying that, oh, you just talk about Mormons. Yeah, I talk about Mormons. And guess what? I get monetized talking about you guys. So I'm going to keep doing it. Okay. You can stay mad. That fuels me. You guys don't understand that when you rage in the comments section, that fuels me from keep going. Like, no likes, no amount of subs is worth more than you raging in my comment section. So keep doing that. Keep it up. Okay. All right. So we have Horny Smith. We're going to go through all of Horny Smith's wifeys. Okay. Because most of the explanation you hear from missionaries in the church today, okay, is that oh these women are alone, are suffering, and Joseph Smith is giving them dick to, make them feel better. But no, that's not the case. Okay. We're gonna examine some of we're not gonna go through every single wife. We're gonna talk about some of the notable ones of and to give you an idea of what actually happened. Okay. Now, the first one, we'll start very light. Okay, we have Fanny Alger. Now, she was a maid working at the Smith house, around 16 to 17 years old. This time, Joseph Smith has pretty much just married Emma Smith. and he's around 27 to 28 years old. Basically, he banged his mate. Okay. And here's Oliver Cowdery. This is one of his original followers who translated the Book of Mormon, and he actually left Joseph Smith over this issue. He called that affair dirty, nasty, and filthy. We have William McLeland. He was one of Joseph Smith's original 12 apostles. And this is a letter that he wrote to Smith's son. Again, I told her I heard that one night she missed Joseph and Fanny Alger. She went to the barn and saw him and Fanny in the barn together alone. She looked through a crack and saw the transaction. The transaction. She told me this story was too verily true. Okay. So Joseph Smith is banging his teenage wife in the barn, and he got caught by his wife. And here is Chauny Webb. Those of you who don't, and he's a part of the later Brigham Young's Avenging Angels. Basically, pretty much the SS of Hitler. Pretty much the personal bodyguard, zealous guys. Okay, this is what he had to say about it. He, Joseph Smith, was sealed there in Kirkland, Ohio, secretly to Fanny Alger. Emma was furious and drove the girl, who was unable to conceal the consequences of her celestial relationship with the prophet, out of her house. What is the celestial, uh, what is the consequence of celestial relation? I'm assuming it's either a bulged belly or she had to run because, you know, she didn't have time to put her clothes back on. And what's funny is this affair happened in 1833, and according to Joseph Smith, and by the way, this is on the Mormon website. I pulled this out of Mormon website. Malachi's prophecy came true when Elijah appeared in the Kirkland Temple. He restored the sealing keys to Joseph Smith and Oliver Cowdery on April 3rd, 1836. So how did Joseph Smith seal Fanny Alger in 1833 when he received the key in 1836? So that also doesn't make any sense. But hey, there's no issues with a pimp cult leader just banging his wife, right? I mean, no, excuse me, his teenage um housemaid in the barn. Next, we have Helen Mar Kimball. Okay. Um, Let me read you guys a few quotes. This is Helen Mar Kimball Whitney's own autobiography describing her encounter with Joseph Smith. I heard him, Joseph Smith, teach and explain the principle of celestial marriage. After which he said to me, if you will take this step, it will ensure your eternal salvation and exaltation, and that your father's household and all of your kindred. This promise is so great that I willingly gave myself to purchase so glorious a reward. Okay. The youngest was this is also off the Mormon website. The second screenshot. The youngest was Helen Mar Kimball, daughter of Joseph's close friend Herbert C. Kimball, and Violet Murray Kimball. Okay, so for those of you who don't know the story, Joseph Smith first went to Herbert and said, "Okay, I'm gonna have to bang Violet." Okay, and Herbert's like, "You're the prophet. I will give you Violet." And when he tried to give Joseph Smith Violet, Joseph Smith said, "Oh, I was just kidding. I don't need your wife, my friend. That was just a proof um, of your royalty." Okay, so Herbert and Violet gave their daughter sealed to Joseph Smith months before her 15th birthday. They sealed a 14 years old to Joseph Smith. Okay, their daughter. This is how they brainwash people in cults. Then we have Zena Huntington Jacobs, and she was the wife of Henry Jacob. Okay, while she married Joseph, She was 20 years old and 7 months pregnant while marrying Joseph Smith. See, this is what I never knew. I never knew that you Mormons like to bang pregnant chicks. I never knew that. Okay. I mean, I'm sure it's a kink somewhere, but I did not know that was your thing. And here's the account. Joseph Smith explained to Zena the principle of plural marriage and asked her to become one of his wives. Okay. Um, so what happened was he had a crush on Xena before, while Xena was dating Herbert, and that's what he said to Xena. But Xena's like, no, I like Herbert. So when Joseph actually agreed to marry her and Herbert, but he wasn't there. Okay, so after the marriage, when the couple later met the prophet, Xena asked him why he hadn't come as he promised. He told her it had been made to known to him that she was to be his celestial wife, and he could not give it to another one who had been given to him. Okay. But we see the pattern, right? So let me show you guys a website here. So this article here, okay? So every time when Joseph Smith tried to do the, oh, well, you know what? The angels commanded this, he does it with women, okay? Um, all of this. Okay, Eliza R. Snow. Joseph told my brother Lorenzo that he has hesitated and deferred from time to time until the angel of God stood by him with a drawn sword, told him that unless he moved forward and established plural marriage, his priesthood would be taken from him and he should be destroyed. This is the shit he says to girls to get them to marry him. Joseph sent word to me by my brother. This is what we just talked about, Zena, saying, tell Zena I put it off and put it off until an angel with a drawn sword stood by me and told me if I did not establish that principle upon the earth, I would lose my position and my life. So she's telling these girls that if you don't let me bang you and become a part of my harem, the angels are going to kill me. This is the same shit with all these girls. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them. I will leave this link below in the in the description section, so you guys can look at this yourself. Okay. Anyways, let's get back to our slideshow here. Okay. So, I mean, so far, this guy is honestly, I'm going to be honest with you guys, he's kind of a goat for doing this. Miranda Hyde. Okay, so this is Orson Hyde's wife. Okay. So she actually slept with Joseph Smith before Joseph Smith slept with Fanny Alger. Here's what Orson wrote. I was appointed in company with Elder John E. Page to go on a mission to Jerusalem. So here's what Joseph did. He sent his friend Orson Hyde, to a mission far away in Jerusalem. And then he banged his chick. A week later, Orson left for what would be a 3-year mission. On October 24th, 1841, Orson stood on the Mount of Olives and consecrated Palestine for the gathering of Judah in the last days. Okay, but here we go. Inasmuch as you have called upon me to know my will concerning my handmaiden, Nancy Miranda Hyde, behold, it is my will that she should have a better place prepared for her than that in which she now lives. And let my handmaiden Nancy Miranda Hyde hearken to the counsel of my servant Joseph in all things whatsoever he shall teach unto her. And we know what that is that all celestial marriage gives you endowment or guarantee your salvation and bullshit. And if you let me bang you, basically everything would be better. That's what he taught him. Or it's the other script that, oh, if you don't let me bang you, I'm gonna get my head cut off by an angel. Mary Leitner, wife of Adam Leitner. Okay. So it's the same pattern. Joseph tried to bang somebody else's wife while the man was far away. Mary said her husband Adam was far away, out of town at the time of her marriage to Joseph. 12 years old, 12 years old Mary remembers. When he saw me, he looked at me so earnestly I felt almost afraid. After a moment or two, he came and put his hand on my head and gave me a great blessing. Joseph also prepared Mary for their eventual marriage. He told me about his great vision concerning me. He said I was the first woman God commended him to take as a plural wife. So he was grooming a fucking 12 years old, maybe a 13 years old at the time, that if you don't marry, you need to, the girl needs to marry him. This is what the Mormon prophet does. Okay. In the fall of that year, Mary and early in 1842, Joseph approached Mary about becoming his wife. So yes, this is exactly when she was 12. According to Mary, Joseph said, the angel came to me 3 times between the year of 34 and 42 and said I was to obey that principle or he would slay me. Do you guys see the pattern? We see the pattern here. But honestly, I'm gonna tell you guys, if somebody tried that to my 12 years old daughter, I will shoot this motherfucker with my 5.56, 7.62, and 12 gauge all together. I will blast him to fucking North Korea. But this is what the Mormon prophet does to 12 years old. In fact, if you guys look at the fundamentalist Mormons where they still lived on private bought lands, where they were 70 years old, married 12 years old. I mean, it happens. It's all over YouTube. That's actually an accurate description of what Mormonism actually looks like before they did the progressive reform to whatever the shit it is today. Okay, they actually have the true Mormonism. Lucy Walker, foster daughter of Joseph Smith. Why should I be chosen from among thy daughters, father? I'm only a child in years and experience, no mother to counsel, no father near to tell me what to do in this trying hour. He was on a so again, what do we see here? We see a girl's parents has left far away, and they have to live with the prophet, who people think is a genuine and generous man. Joseph told Lucy that marriage would have to be secret, but that he would acknowledge her as his wife beyond the Rocky Mountains. He then gave Lucy ultimatum. It is a command of God to you. I will give you until tomorrow to decide this matter. If you reject this message, the gate will be closed forever against you. So he threatened the girl that, hey, if you don't let me bang you, you're fucked. Lucy said, this aroused every drop of scotch in my veins. I felt at this moment that I was. Blah, blah, blah. He threatened the girl to cut her off from salvation if he doesn't get to bang her. Okay. So nervous. Okay, so acquaintance of Lucy D.H. Morris quoted her saying, I married Joseph Smith as a plural wife and lived and cohabited with him as such. Yes, there you go. This is how he gets plural wife. Okay, it's not the, oh, well, these women have no one to take care of. It's not the Mary and Joseph betrothal stuff. You know, this is a harem. Emily and Eliza Partridge. Now, there are two pairs, I mean, I think there could even be more than two pairs of daughters, of sisters. 4 days after his marriage to Emily, Joseph married Emily's sister Eliza. The details of proposal and marriage were sparse. Eliza kept a journal but later burned it because it was too full. Years later, he wrote, while living at Joseph's house. Okay, again, we see the pattern. These are girls that are left behind who Joseph takes care of. He taught to us the plan of celestial marriage and asked us to enter into that order with him. This was truly a great trail for me, but I had the most implicit confidence in him as a prophet of the Lord. but not believe his word as a matter of course, accept the privilege of being sealed to him as a wife for time and all eternity. There you go. Same grooming pattern. Women will also be receiving the endowment. This is what they taught them. That's necessary for exaltation. Women would also be receiving the endowment, and Joseph wanted his wife, Emma, to be the elect lady, the first woman to receive the endowment. But you see, he says this shit to everyone. She would then disseminate it to the other woman. The endowment requires a wife to be obedient to her husband because Emma was resisting plural marriage. Yes, because for those of you who don't know, Emma Smith actually came from a very good household. And Joseph coerced her to marry him in secret. And Emma's father wrote a letter of insult to Joseph saying that you fucking crappy, shitty wigger scammer. You stole my daughter. I'd rather he said this for you guys can look it up. Emma's father, he said, I'd rather my daughter die alone than to marry you, piece of shit. That's what Emma's father said to Joseph when he married her in secret. And he was wise. See, this is why in the Orthodox churches, the father doesn't give the blessings, priest will never do it. Okay? We respect men, we respect father. We don't respect scoundrel piece of shit like Joseph Smith. Joseph would not let her participate in the endowment, thus risking her own exaltation as well as delaying ceremonial endowment for other women. So he threatened and what do we call this? Not necessarily threatened, but you know, he did the same shit to his own wife. Emma doesn't want him to marry all these women. And he threatened his wife, technically, that you won't get exaltation if you don't allow me to do this. Who would do this to their wife? This is absolutely disgusting to me. Okay? Who would ever do this to your wife to emotionally abuse her and mandate her to put up with your abuse? This is Joseph Smith. This is who restored the gospel. And by the way, all of these things are a part of the sealing and the restoration of the gospel. So we can make an argument that the fundamentalist Mormons, FLDS, are the true Mormons. Okay, and again, they would have no principle to say that they are. Because, well, you see that FLDS actually practice this stuff still. So this is the actual restored stuff. And what do we see here? Okay, every time they say, oh, the church fathers are Mormons, we can say, well, the FLDS are Mormons because we see everything they do today is exactly what Brigham and Joseph taught. And you guys changed. Now we're at the end. Okay. Here are the other notables. So we have the Sarah and Maria Lawrence. They're also a group of sisters living with Joseph who were coerced into being banged by Joseph. And this year, Joseph Smith married Patty Bartlett Sessions and Sylvia Porter Sessions. That's a mother and daughter. And then we know that the Mormons are absolutely obsessed with having the Leviticus priesthood, the Aaronic priesthood, because they can't, you know, logically distinct what's fulfilled and what's not. They have no clue on what covenantal theology is. But what does Leviticus say? If a man takes a woman and her mother also, it is depravity. He and they shall be burned with fire, that there may be no depravity among you. So Leviticus defined incest. It's that easy. And there could also be a thing for you guys to find. Um, if you find it, please let me know in the comment section. Law against marrying sisters. Okay, but yeah, this is incest. I mean, most Mormons commit incest. There's most Mormons in Utah have, or Utah, Idaho, that area, they have incest genetics. It's proven. Okay, because they've been enclosed in that. community for so long. It's what it is. So I know it's a rather shorter video this week, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I know you guys enjoyed it. Okay, and we all know for sure that Joseph Smith is burning in Kool-Aid shit in the deepest pit of hell, and the heavens rejoice. Okay, and he also received a shameful death. He got clapped, okay, while trying to escape. Okay, he was he died a shameful death. Um, what else is there to say about it? He's a shameful person. He was arrested, felon, charged with mutiny against the government, scam people, okay, disrespecting women, abusing children, pedophile, rapist, piece of shit. Okay. There's nothing, no redeeming quality in this man. He is burning, there's no doubt, zero doubt. Just like with martyrs, there's no doubt they're in heaven. With Joseph Smith, Ellen G. White, okay, John Hagee, all these people, zero doubt they're burning in shit in hell. With all that said, God bless you all. We will see you in the next show.